Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Week 9 roster update show. We're back to normal with our risers and fallers from the most recent week of film. I hope you enjoyed my midseason review series. Might have clogged your feed a little bit, but I hope you were able to see what I had to say about your team. But anyway, we're on to the roster. I actually went and did kind of a clean slate. I downloaded the most recent Madden roster update, and I did this because there were some transactions that I hadn't kept up to date on that some of you let me know about. And then you get a guy like Percy Harvin coming out of retirement. I have to go and create him. He doesn't have his face on the roster. It's just not as good. So I went in and redid the roster. It took a while, but we're here now. So we're going to start with this week's risers. Starting in Miami, Jordan Phillips, the D tackle, was a high round draft pick last year. Didn't play a whole lot, but now he's starting next to Ndamukong Suh, and he's having an awesome season. He's had some good games, but he really had an awesome play this week. Dropping into coverage, he had an off balance, almost a leaping, diving interception, able to keep his balance, got some yardage on the return, really showing some athleticism. He's had flashes in the trenches as well. So keeping my eye on Jordan Phillips as he goes up. Next is Devonta Freeman. I talked about him early in the season, was not impressed, and he's really turned that around for me. Just kind of that unstoppable force that I haven't really seen since DeMarco Murray in Dallas. When he gets the ball on like a 3rd and 3, you just know the defense is afraid of him. You just get the feeling that he's going to get that first down. The combination of how hard he runs with his physical traits, it's pretty scary. So he's going up. Then Thomas Davis is another riser. He's been rising all season, just proving everyone wrong. I think he's 38 years old, but still just crazy athleticism. And he's making highlight plays every week. You know he's putting in work in the trenches. He's a total badass linebacker. So he's a 95, just entering that elite echelon of players. And then Michael Thomas is another riser, the receiver for the Saints, really becoming the number 1 receiver for Drew Brees. And it's not just because he's taller than Brandon Cooks. He has a lot of awesome traits to him. His hands have been phenomenal all season long, especially last week. And then also just his awareness and route running have really impressed. Just a natural at the position. My last riser is A.J. Boye, the corner for the Texans. He's been a big part of why that defense has remained competitive really without J.J. Watt. So he's going up to a 79. And now on to the fallers from the week. Blake Bortles again just keeps falling. His accuracy has just been pathetic, and I think it's a big part in due to his confidence. I heard a report that warming up before the game, he was throwing balls into the ground, and you see it in the game as well. So Blake Bortles down to a 73. It's going to be time to move on from Blake Bortles here, I think, for Jacksonville. And then we're going to move on and talk about Mike Mitchell, the safety for the Steelers. And he's a guy that a lot of people expected to have a big season, and he just hasn't. And it kind of came to fruition last week against Baltimore. Gave up a huge play to Mike Wallace. The corner gets beat on a slant, and then Mike Mitchell should be there to clean that up. And he gets totally he whiffs and gets stiff-armed. And then Mike Wallace is gone for an 80-plus yard touchdown. So Mike Mitchell continues to be unimpressive, the safety for the Steelers. Lastly, we got a couple Minnesota Vikings with that team really spiraling downhill. You got to pick a few players to blame, and number one, I think, is Xavier Rhodes. He was a riser a few weeks ago after some huge games, but he's kind of showing his true colors. He's a very physical corner, which it's a good thing, but he needs to learn to control the penalties. He had 3 huge penalties that counted against Marvin Jones. Sure, Marvin Jones only had 1 catch, but those penalties were huge, and on plays that Marvin Jones would have caught because Xavier Rhodes did get beat. And then another guy that I've continually said is a little overrated is Anthony Barr. He's an exceptional athlete, but not really an instinctive linebacker. He's very good in coverage, but in terms of seeking guys down, making tackles, he's okay. And then he doesn't really have any identifiable traits in terms of pass rush, or he's just kind of an awkward player. So he's going down a little bit. And that's going to conclude my risers and fallers from this week. So we'll see you next week. Subscribe and check out my Twitter at TFG_football. Thanks, guys. Peace out.